Hi everyone, my name is Julia and I'm a physical therapist. I'm here today with an upper body unilateral strength training. So we're going to go through a lot of upper body strength exercises for all of the upper body muscle groups, but we're only going to do it one side at a time. So this is going to really turn on your core a lot more than it would doing two arms at a time for some of these exercises. Okay, so grab your weights and let's get started. We're going to start out with the warm up here. Our first move is going to be shoulder rolls. The warm-up is really important to get our muscles ready for the workout we're about to do, especially since we're going to challenge both our upper body and our core with these single arm exercises. We really want to make sure we're getting nice and warm. So shoulder rolls, you can also move your feet. Our next one is going to be arm swings. So you can do an arm swing, kind of a side step. So the goal of the warm-up is to prepare our muscles for the movements we're about to do and raise our heart rate a little bit, break a little bit of the sweat. Our next one is going to be 90-90 rotations. So 90 degrees with the shoulders and the elbows, and then rotate, open and close. We're warming up that rotator cuff. And we're going to start getting some weight bearing into it. So our next warm-up exercise is a plank to a downward dog. So start in a plank, push back into a downward dog, come back into a strong plank, back into downward dog, working on that overhead position. Then we're going to warm up our core with plank shoulder taps. So hold in the plank, shoulder taps, trying to keep your hips still, so really push into the ground with the hand and the foot that are down, or both feet are down. So just shifting weight from one arm to the other arm is going to turn on the core. Next one, we're standing up. We're going to do a row, rotation, Y combo. So row, external rotation, Y, reverse, reverse, reverse. Really starting to warm up all these scapular stabilizing muscles. Then we're going to go into arm circles. So big arm circles, forward and back. Again, you can keep the feet moving. Oop, I started to sweat already, so it's a good warm up. We're really going to start to get our heart rate up with the last two warm-up exercises, starting with fly jacks. So you can do the full fly jack, or for low impact, a stepping fly jack. So really feel the chest and back muscles have to work with this exercise. Going into a jumping jack. And again, you can do a step jumping jack, or the full jumping jack here. All right, and that is our warm-up completed. So for the single arm training, we have 3 groups of 2 exercises, and for each exercise we go one arm then the other arm. So we're going to go through each group of exercises twice for a total of 2 rounds per exercise per arm. A little complicated, I know. We're going to go 40 seconds on, 5 seconds off. So really quick transition time because we're just really switching from one arm to the other arm. So if you miss a few seconds, totally fine, don't worry about it. If you want to increase your workload a little bit, you can always pause at the end of 2 rounds and go back and do a 3rd round for a longer workout time of about 40 minutes, okay? So grab your weight, you only need one at a time, and then we're going to get into this unilateral upper body training. We're starting out with a chest press and a row. So lay on your back with one weight above your shoulder, allow it to come down, and then push it up. So this is our chest press. Inhale down, exhale up. Inhale down, exhale up. So keep it going nice and steady. Your forearms should be vertical, and you can feel that core kicking in. For even more of a core challenge, you can get up in a bridge position. So it'll make your core work even harder. Go ahead and switch arms here. Remember, we have this really quick transition time. So you can start out with your hips on the ground, forearm vertical, inhale down, press it up, nice and steady both directions. And if you want to increase the core challenge, you can take out one point of support, which is those hips. So raise your hips up in a glute bridge and you'll feel your core have to kick on even more. All right, we're getting up for that row. So if you have a bench or a chair, you can use that. Otherwise, you can just be in this staggered stance. Nice flat back. Kind of use your own knee as a chair or bench. You can also come down to get more parallel. So you're going to feel your core really has to turn on here to stabilize yourself. Keep your shoulders nice and level, driving your elbow up. And again, the transitions are really quick. Don't feel bad if you miss a few seconds. You can see I'm missing a few seconds here and there. Go ahead and switch hands. Set it up and drive that elbow up. So you're trying to keep your trunk with a neutral spine and just drive the elbow up. And your shoulders and hips should be level, pretty much parallel to the ground. You don't want to turn your body to lift the weight up. Next, we're going back down for that chest press. All right, down on the ground for the chest press. And start it up. And if you want the maximum core challenge, well, one, you could do this on a bench or physio ball, but if you're just on the ground and you want more core challenge, you can do a glute bridge and lift up your arm. And you could even try to lift up your leg. Or you can just keep it nice and simple. The same unilateral chest press. Keeping that forearm vertical. Nice and steady breathing. You can mix it up. Go ahead and switch sides. Start it up. This is our last interval for the unilateral chest press. And again, you can always come into that bridge, lift the arm, and even try and lift the leg if you want a big core challenge, really working on that core stability and balance. Or you can go down to our base position. So choose the challenge that's right for you. Next, we're going to be standing up for that row again. All right, so up on your feet. Quick transition. Hinge at the hips. Drive that elbow up. And to get a little bit more of a back workout, you can even not use your hand, and more of a core workout. Don't use your hand in this bent over position. You can just be in the stagger stance. Make your core do the work to hold you in position here. Nice and steady breathing. Go ahead and switch sides. And so again, you're making your core do the work here. Keep those hips and shoulders nice and stable. And breathe. Drive that elbow up. Try and squeeze your shoulder blades together here. Work on those back muscles. All right, and that is the end of our first group. So if you feel like you need a little water break, you can always pause, take a water break. We're gonna go right through. Our next two exercises are gonna be single arm overhead press and single arm lat pullover. So we're starting with a single arm overhead press. Start it up. So standing nice and tall. Inhale down. Exhale up. And choose the weight that's right for you. I might have gotten a little too heavy on this one, so we'll see how long I last. But try and keep your trunk really upright with, you can see I'm kind of swaying to the side a little bit to get the weight up. Try to minimize that. Saved by the bell. All right, switch arms. Overhead press on the other side. Nice steady breathing. Inhale down. Exhale up. Exhale during the harder part of the motion, which is pushing it up. With the lat pullovers, our next exercise, go much lighter than you normally would, than you think you can handle if you haven't done the lat pullover exercise before. It's a hard exercise to control, so make sure you can control it before ramping up the weight. So go ahead and switch. So lower the weight slowly overhead and then come back over your shoulder, making sure your shoulder doesn't pop forward. You don't want to lose control of this motion. Your arm is straight. This is a pretty vulnerable position for your shoulder. So choose a weight that you're positive that you can control. Make the form perfect, and then increase the weight. Inhale to lower overhead. Exhale to pull it back up over your shoulder. All right, go ahead and switch hands here. Nice steady breathing. Lower, lift. Exhale, inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And your arm should be straight but soft, so not a locked out elbow. Keep your elbow a little bit soft, teensy bit of a bend in it. And you're trying to lower the weight overhead as far as you can without the weight touching the ground or without your arm touching the ground. Keep that shoulder down away from your ear. All right, then we're going back up for those overhead presses. Yes, the quick transitions are coming back again. Press it overhead. If you really want a challenge, stand on one foot. This is really going to turn on your core. And you can experiment. Stand on one foot, stand on the other foot. See if one feels a lot harder than the other. And for me, I'm doing this all with my left arm first because my left arm is weaker. So I want to make sure that I'm not going to do way more on the right than I can on the left. So I would recommend starting all these exercises with your weaker arm. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. And you can add that single leg balance for more of a core challenge. For me, balancing on my right side is harder just because my most recent lower body injury was on my right side, so balance is disrupted with any injury. For you, it might be a little different. So you can try standing on both single leg, one leg at a time, or just stay on 2 feet. All right, back down, overhead press, or overhead pull, lat pull. So lower the weight slowly, and then raise it up at approximately the same pace. And keep your core on, so your back is flat on the ground. Don't let yourself arch up. Especially if you have really tight lats, this exercise is going to kind of pull you into back extension. So keep the core on, don't let that happen. Go ahead and switch arms. Nice and steady. Really focus on keeping the shoulder away from the ear. Kind of slide your shoulder blade down your back, down your rib cage, because you don't want your shoulder just popping forward. So lock it in place with all your scapular muscles. And breathe. All right, so the double beep means we are done with this round. So we're moving on to our final round of single arm exercises. It's going to be a traditional bicep curl and a single arm tricep kickback. So we're going to start off with the bicep curl. So start it up. Keep your elbow locked in. Make sure you're lifting with your bicep. You're not using your body momentum to swing the weight forward. And of course, you can always increase the core challenge by standing on one leg. I really like standing on one leg with upper body exercises because it just gives you more core challenge and it's just adds a little bit of variety into it. So you can try standing on each single leg here. Go ahead and switch sides. Start it up. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And then we can try that single leg stance for this bicep curl. Make sure your elbow stays tucked into your side. You don't want it kicking forward too much. You can switch your legs if you want, or you can always stay grounded on the ground. You don't have to do a single leg balance with me. I just get bored, so I like to mix it up a little bit. All right, switching to the tricep kickback, so that same bent over position. Draw the elbow up, and then just kick it back from here. So your core really has to stabilize here. So you're going to try and get your forearm in line with your upper arm, all while keeping your shoulders and hips level and your elbow glued to your side. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift. Go ahead and switch sides. So from the front, again, shoulders are level, hips are level, your elbow glued to your side, your core nice and activated, keeping you nice and stable in this position. And remember, you can always, at the end of each round, rewind and do the round a third time if you want a little bit extra work on each arm. We're only going through 2 rounds here. And I'm sweating quite a bit, so it seems like it's enough for me. Excellent. All right, back to that bicep curl. So curl it up, glue the elbow to your side. Stand on one leg if you want. Nice steady breathing. Inhale, lower. Exhale to lift. You can switch your leg if you like. Ooh, my biceps running out of steam. I can feel it. You can always switch weights, drop your weights halfway through if you need to. I barely managed to eke out those last few reps. Switch arms. And you can start up with that single leg stance again. So if you're finding that you're really struggling at the end of the interval, just drop your weight. No shame in it. You'd rather have better quality repetitions than forcing something out with a heavier weight by like swinging your body or doing something kind of crazy. This is a bicep exercise. We're not trying to get your full body exercise here. There's a time and a place for that. Steady breathing. All right, back to those tricep kickbacks. So, nice bent over position, elbow locked up by your side, and extend the forearm to be in a straight line with your upper arm. Really turn on the core here. Shoulders and hips should be level. And breathe. Keep it going, nice and steady. All right, go ahead and switch arms. This is our last interval of work. Start it up. Get that core activated. Tuck your elbow into your side. And really try and straighten that forearm. Straighten your elbow. Keep breathing. Nice and steady. You're almost there. All right, that is it, the double beep. So we are done with the working portion of this workout. So keep your arms moving a little bit, keep your feet moving a little bit, grab a quick drink of water, and then make sure you come back for our cool down stretch. It's important, so don't skip it. For our cool down here, our first stretch is going to be on the wall pec stretch. So find yourself a wall, place your hand flat against it, and turn your chest away. Breathe. You can walk your hand up and down the wall. Just try and feel a stretch across your chest, across the front of your shoulder, maybe a little bit into the bicep and forearm. So you can adjust your hand to feel the stretch where you need it the most. Go ahead and switch. So I don't know about you, but my arms are feeling a little tired right now, which is good. It's a sign of a good workout. So make sure you do this cool down and then just enjoy the burn. Enjoy that feeling of your muscles having been worked out. Our next one is a wall lat stretch, overhead lat stretch. So stay on the wall, hands overhead, core tight. You can put one foot forward and you're just going to sink your chest down, stretching out those lats. You don't want a big arch in your back. You're trying to stretch out the lats. You can switch the feet if you want to and turn your palms in to face each other for a bigger stretch. Next one is an overhead lat stretch. So bring your elbow up, pull it across. And you can either do a side stretch here, get a nice stretch down your side, or you can step back, do a little bit of hip flexor stretch here. And you'll also feel a little bit of a stretch down your side. Go ahead and switch sides, pull the other elbow up and across. And then for a little extra, you can add that side stretch. You should feel it all the way down your side, including the back of your arm or triceps. Or you can step back, do a little bit of hip flexor stretch, and lean to the side. So it's kind of a 3-in-1 stretch here. I like multitasking, it's efficient. Next one is going to be a thread the needle. So down on all fours, reach up, reach through, and try and lay the back of your head and the back of your shoulder down on the ground. Every time you exhale, you can inch a little deeper into it. You can kind of rock up and down in this position. Feel it stretching across the back of your shoulder blades. Go ahead and switch sides. Reach up, reach through. Trying to get the back of your shoulder blade on the ground. As you exhale, reach a little farther. Rock up and down. Really trying to get a stretch across your shoulder blades. The last one is going to be a child's pose. So you can sink back onto your heels, reach your arms overhead, feel the upper back, feel the lower back release. Just breathe into it. All right. And that is it. You just finished a great upper body single arm workout. So hopefully you felt that in your core, you felt that in your arms, you got a good workout. And thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.